We're still working on getting the documents together for the splash pad issue. To get to the bonding company. And the second matter has to do with estimates for demolition, legal work to demolish the properties on the list, the 10 worst properties list. And my best guess at this point is that it will cost in legal fees probably between $5,000 and $6,000. Could be more, could be less, and that does not include costs, out-of-pocket costs. And there are just a whole lot of variables that could affect the amount of the attorney fees and the out-of-pocket costs.
So this is regarding the list that we came up with about the top 10?
Right.
Okay,
Top 10
and you're talking
properties.
for everything?
Well, two of them we've already,
Right,
there were,
right, right.
actually, we got 9, and there were, the two of them were 78 Fountain and 25 Sycamore, and they've already been cleared. That's why we're moving them first.
Okay.
So there's really only
So
7 left.
for the additional 7, we're anticipating between 5 and 6? is
Per
what we're-
property,
Per property?
yes.
Yeah.
There are a lot of variables that could increase that, or if the borough gets lucky, could be as low as maybe $3,000. Just depends.
So do we need to relook at that list?
So is there one or two that look like the,
Like, we've already done our top 2,
Yeah,
like,
there's
what's the
no,
next one?
there's no way to tell until you actually
I
get
have it
into
with
it
me,
and
but thank you.
start down the path. Because what happens is, we file something in court, and it depends on whether there's a response or not, and what that response is. Is it to challenge on some technicality or procedural grounds, or do they respond? And then from there, it just, more steps. It could end up as far down the line as a non-jury trial or a jury trial. Just really depends. So much of it depends on what the response is from the property owner. Okay, if they want to fight it, then you're looking at 6,000 plus. If they don't fight it at all, you're probably looking at maybe 5,000 or less.
I mean, I could gather what we paid for 25 Sycamore.
Well, but
That was back and forth, and most of that was, or even what we paid for 78 Fountain. How many times do you have to go to court?
well, some of those were incurred before we came aboard. Some of those costs with attorney fees. So I can't speak to what the prior solicitor did. But what, you got that number?
No,
Oh, you
not off the
look at
top
it.
of my head.
Yeah,
But I'd have to look it
well,
up.
maybe you
I mean,
did.
what about, are these property owners, are they notified that they're on this list?
No.
No.
Is it,
No, this is just something that we came up with.
do you think it, just to let them know that they're in our sites for possible,
Well, the way they would know that they were in sites is by getting code violations or zoning violations. And I don't know whether or not any of these properties have been tagged already.
Well, 1508 Bar is condemned, and that's the number one, so it's condemned. There's no water, no electricity, there's nothing. 25 Sycamore, same way, but we already went through the legal proceedings. And the other ones I'd have to look into off the top of my head, but I know 1508 Bar for a fact is condemned. And there's nobody living there. Wow,
And that's the one that's attached to another neighbor's house.
correct.
I'm just, and what I'm thinking, or what I'm trying to say is that just maybe just like almost like a,
this is your last warning.
Or like, you're on the list, and there's potential more legal costs that could be incurred from, their side. Just to give them a heads up that,
Well, we could certainly send that kind of notice, but these properties are to the extent that it's unlikely that the property owner is gonna rehab them to bring them up to code. So it's, they're beyond that.
I mean, I'd like to think that our code enforcement officer has sent the notices, they know that they're delinquent, or they know that their property is condemned, like, we need to move forward, for sure. I don't know that I wanna wait.
I'm just saying,
for another.
through Act 90, aren't we afforded the ability to offer them the opportunity to have them just donate their property outright, and we can exonerate them from their tax liabilities, and that it goes to a conversation, if we do that, can we get Allegheny County and Carleton School District on board with trying to go down that path? Is that something that we can do to facilitate that conversation?
Well, it depends, I would think mostly on the school district, because they usually have the biggest tax bill out.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'd be willing to waive.
Well, so both Ingram and Crafton are meeting next Monday, so maybe at our meeting, we can have that conversation with Ingram, and maybe both councils can send a letter to the school district and figure out if there's a way.
Different school districts.
Okay.
Ingram goes to,
Well,
Montour.
maybe, I don't know, Montour would have any, would want to do the same thing as Carleton, but at least Crafton Borough, maybe in Thornburg and Carnegie, do something to reach out to the school district to figure out how we can get the school district to work with us to try to minimize our legal costs and make it easier to exonerate these people and get the properties off our hands so we can do something with them. I mean, why go through the courts if we can just use Act 90 to just take the properties over from them, and then we can use those legal dollars towards demolition. And to the point of asbestos remediation, as noted here, there are environmental costs that are gonna have to be dealt with.
Right.
Because, the Allegheny County and PADEP are cracking down on asbestos again, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth a try, but like, just the top, the top one is 1508 Bar. There's nobody that lives there, and we have no forwarding address. I don't know if the people moved to Alaska or if they're living under the Birmingham Bridge. I mean, we have no, their driver's license still says 1508 Bar Avenue.
Do you have access to digital courthouse? To see if we can,
Do what?
to try to figure out where they are. I mean, obviously we do the cheap thing, go do the white pages search and see if there's any aliases that show up, but essentially
Well,
do some land work and try to chase it down.
We can do some locating stuff,
Because I'm assuming that's part of the cost that you have quoted with the 5 to 6K.
but, no, most of that is litigation.
That's just litigation.
Yeah.
So like a junior person, like how much, maybe you could figure out what it would cost to have a junior person search for somebody, or maybe have one of our people in the office search for somebody.
Not a lot of run through a claim machine for a non-motor vehicle violation or arrest or something for, you're not permitted to use a claim machine for that reason.
What about for code violations?
Code violations, I don't know, I'd have to check with the chief, but
Yeah.
they're very strict. We get an audit every year on the claim machine.
Yeah.
So you cannot use it for, looking up a neighbor or an ex-boyfriend or, anything like that.
I understand things are the way they are, but it's very frustrating that people can just walk out of a community and leave law-abiding citizens who are paying their taxes to clean up the mess. And to me, there's something wrong with that. absolutely something wrong with that. And to sit here and have to struggle, you know, with trying to figure out ways and trying to come up with money to figure out how to solve this is, to me, is just, it boggles my mind. It's like an alternate universe. And how are we supposed to represent a community of people that want to make a better community when our hands are tied almost at every turn?
Well, I think it's in every community, though, you find the same thing.
I understand that,
You know,
and it's,
And it is a shame, but, you know, it is what it is, and that's how
That's
we
it.
have to go by the law.
Well, I think looking more into Act 90 and trying to maybe come up with a clever solution, working with the school district, and that might be appealing to some people to say, listen, you can walk away, you know, we're gonna, you know, we've negotiated something with the school district, just donate the property, walk away from it, and let us do our job. You know, I think that probably is the most palatable thing, and for the school district, I think the prize is, hey, we're gonna try to get these properties back on the books, and we're gonna have more rateable property in the community, which is what they need. I mean, we don't need, you know, properties that are on the books that are never gonna be collected. I mean, it's unrealized income. It's like, stop counting it.
Well, we're waiting for somebody else to, you know,
Yeah, well-
come in and do something where they'll just collect.
Yeah, well, I think this, you know, if I can speak on Dave and I, you know, it sounds like we're ready to go that way. It sounds like you're ready to go that way. So let's reach out to the school board. If they're the, you know, they've got the biggest tax bill to send out, which they did. I just got mine. And you know what? Maybe they wouldn't have to raise the mills every couple of years if everybody was paying their fair share. And for me as a taxpayer, it's frustrating because, yeah, I want everybody to pay their fair share. And if people are paying their fair share, then maybe we don't have to pay so much in mills and make our community uncompetitive. I mean, the reality is, if we continue down this path with Carnegie and Crafton and everybody that's in Carlinton, if we don't fix the problem, you know, with these properties coming off the tax rolls the way they have, it sort of offsets the gains that we've had with, you know, we've enjoyed higher sales prices on Zillow. I don't know if anybody's tracked that. It's really encouraging to see home values go up, but the thing is, comes to a point where you get over $300K and your tax bill at the school district level becomes uncompetitive. You compare community A, community B, and all of a sudden Crafton Borough ends up and Thornburg and Carnegie become at a disadvantage because of our school district having to raise the mills because people aren't paying their fair share. So at any rate.
Well, I don't think they know who even has 1508 Bar Avenue.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying in general, there's
So
multiple.
you could say, yes, we're gonna.
Their last name is
use-
Bell, it's a Lori Bell, and I can't remember the
Yeah.
gentleman's name, the husband's name.
Those people can be found more on the private side, through a private detective. And I happen to know one, but I know it's gonna cost some money. He's got resources that are to the moon, with no conditions, you know, as the police department is sort of tied down. He can do it, but it's gonna cost. And you don't know what the cost is gonna be until he gets into it, just like, you know, on the legal side. You don't know, you know, he's got lots of resources. So if you want, I can,
If they were paid by now, they don't care, then they'll go.
Typically, a municipality puts an advertisement in the newspaper, that's typically how it's done. You know, like the property owner of 1508 Bar Avenue using that.
well, he's talking about just trying to locate them and ask them to, you know, turn over the property to the
But
borough.
instead of hiring a private detective, typically in a municipality, you put an advertisement in the Post-Gazette, or you,
And nobody
you know,
comes forward.
if nobody comes forward, then you start going after, you know, taking over the property as a municipality.
This is
Starting
such a
the legal
close
proceedings.
knit community. I mean, do people disappear like that? I mean, everybody seems like know everybody and they know where they move to and relatives and things like that. I'm surprised that nobody, like somebody walks out of the community, nobody has any information.
Okay, so you'll look into the Act 90 and potentially the school board. Yes? Okay,
Nothing further than
thank you. So since the mayor is not here, do you wanna touch on the mayor report or no?
Well, the speed monitoring devices were posted on Chartiers Avenue, and council was provided, the results. There was, speeding on certain dates, but, the average vehicle speed was 23 miles an hour. And then.
How long was that period of time?
This was from the 13th to of June to July 4th, well, the 5th. And then this one was only for like 2 weeks.
And
That
how many
average
cars was
speed.
that?
Pardon me?
How many cars was that? 506 cars?
Yeah. No, this was
Right here.
8,921 total.
Cars.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
And this is, just in those 2 weeks, was 5,305, and the average speed was 16. But the high speed was 45. And over on this way, the high speed was, looks like 47.
57.
Oh, 57. Could have been burned.
Ever?
No, rainy stuff. Seriously, it does. But I mean, so the mayor asked us to post those, and that's the results that we came up with. Again, the city of Pittsburgh already posted their side of Fountain, or,
Chartiers.
Chartiers, pardon me.
Okay, so at this point, do we need to do anything?
The next item on the agenda is the adoption of the ordinance number 1641 for the installation of the stop sign.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to adopt ordinance number 1641, installation of a stop sign at the intersection of Fountain and Chartiers Avenue in the Borough of Crafton as recommended by the police department and the city of Pittsburgh.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, then now we can discuss it. So has everyone had an opportunity to go and see the stop sign or where the potential stop sign is going to be? Does anybody have
Yes,
any comments?
I was there this morning, and we need a stop sign there. There should be a stop sign there. It almost takes 2 people. I had somebody else with that driver with me today, and we went down there specifically to look at that. And I'm thankful that the city put a stop sign coming out Chartiers, because when you're coming out of Fountain, it almost takes 2 people to look back that way. I mean, imagine if the stop sign weren't there. To look back that way and look for traffic coming up, and the driver looking this way. Resident has a driveway there, and he parks right on that, almost right on that corner. And so it does make visibility kind of tough. So if the city will still put that, they said they would put it up for us. If we got the ordinance passed.
Yeah, but they've already put theirs up, so I'm not sure if that,
Well,
I mean, we already have a stop sign and a breakaway post in stock, so.
regardless, it's a good place for a stop sign. It's a good place for a stop sign. The visibility is weak. We put a stop sign on, what was the name of that street up by you, Phil?
Willard?
We put a stop sign at Willard. There was no discussion about it. And what do you get, 2 cars a month coming down that hill?
Okay, let me just add.
What?
Huh?
No, you're kidding, right?
Let me just.
I'm kidding, but
Yeah, I know.
really, we didn't have much discussion about that stop sign. It was just, somebody wanted it, and there it is.
Okay, let me just tell you that what was turned into us was a list of names of the neighbors in the surrounding area. So out of 20 people, 60% of them want a stop sign at the top of Chartiers. 30% of them want a stop sign at Fountain and Chartiers, and 10% of them want neither.
Can I just say that that's only their opinion?
Right.
But, yeah, it's up to you guys. That was just their opinion,
Well, we
really.
wanted to know
Yeah.
what the residents, how they felt. So we appreciate that you went and talked to who you did, to bring us this feedback.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any comments that they stopped and saw it? Okay, so there is a motion on the table. If there is no further discussion, just to remind you, this is a motion to adopt the ordinance number 1641, the installation of a stop sign at the intersection of Fountain and Chartiers Avenue in the Borough of Crafton as recommended by the Police Department and the City of Pittsburgh. So can we take a roll call vote?
Sure. Mr. Amendola?
Yes.
Ms. Glasser?
Yes.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Yes,
Mr. Lavasser?
Yes.
Ms. Amendola?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
6-0.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to authorize engineer to prepare plans and specifications manhole rehabilitation project estimated cost of $115,000 included in the 2017 sewer budget and required by the administrative consent order of 2015.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing no,
Actually, can I ask a quick question about?
Sure.
I don't know if Rob's not here, but, so that, is that throughout the entire community, or that they're gonna go around?
Oh, yeah, they have GIS of where they're gonna do the, work at, proposed work at, so.
Yeah, so they're replacing the ones that have the holes in the top of it, the sanitary sewers?
No, they're replacing the inserts of the entire inners of the manhole.
Okay, so they're gonna do a complete rehab?
Rehab of the manhole. Now, the lid may stay the same,
Okay.
but they'll do a complete manhole. They actually, they put it out for, bid through Shaycog Joint like we do the, CCTV work, and, McDonald and Crafton were the only two that, chose to do it, so Shaycog withdrew that, so we're going out on our own to do this, and it was included in the budget.
Now, will they raise the manholes if they need to be raised?
We'll raise them if they need to be raised.
okay? All in favor then?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Okay, now we can talk about the demolition project of 78 Fountain and 25 Sycamore, the fact that no bids have been received. We need to obtain an asbestos removal permit. It's $750 per house. And what are your thoughts to expand who we're requesting bids from?
Right.
Is it, do you think it's because we didn't have an asbestos removal permit and that's why no one's submitting bids?
Phil Strunk seems to believe that it could be, but also that he sent out to like 3 or 4 of the contractors we've used in the past. Maybe if we have the permit up front. I mean, I had phone calls from 2 or 3 contractors. And I will say that 25 Sycamore is an easy takedown. I was very surprised we didn't receive a bid for that. 78 Fountain is gonna be a little trickier. It's on a hillside, a little bit of a hill. And that makes it,
What was the time, how long did we advertise it for, from when to when?
I would have to look.
Like, did the holiday have anything to do with it?
No, well-
Is it the time of year? Like, I can't believe that nobody would want, nobody at all. Are they just too busy? Are they?
It's just the asbestos.
Well, I don't know if that had anything to do with it. It was put out for bid on June 14th, and we had the bids were due on July 6th.
So that's well over 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah,
It's almost like 3 weeks.
right. And he sent it out to a few of the contractors that they've done business with. So is it the asbestos permit?
Okay,
I-
we
you know-
need the asbestos permit regardless, right?
Yes, we
Anyway,
absolutely do. So we
need to
could.
get it.
Well, we could change the plans and specs and just maybe add a little verbiage that we will obtain the asbestos permit upon receipt of the bid. That's that could be an option. I'm just saying, there could be a couple options that we could consider.
So it was, so we advertised it, and
Oh, yeah.
nobody responded. I mean, there are like dozens of environmental construction companies out there, so maybe it's just a busy time of year and we should re-advertise
Right,
it.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, we could, you know, that could be another issue.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it is a
Can we
busy
just-
time, maybe
can we
we
just-
wait till fall,
Yeah,
you know, because they're busy now. In the meantime, do we want to go after? They're never, I don't know how long they'd last. How about if I check and see how long
The permit
the
lasts.
permit lasts? Like, building permits last a year unless you ask for an extension. So I don't know how long an asbestos permit lasts.
Okay, so we can find out how long they're for, because we don't wanna get one now, and if it's gonna expire in 90 days, and then not have the house taken down.
Right. I would assume they'd be good for at least a year.
And in the meantime, then, I liked what you said about the verbiage of, and we will obtain.
I mean, that could be an option too, but I mean, I will say that Gateway is suggesting that we go after the asbestos permit. Now, do we do both of them? It's $750.
I don't wanna let this hold this up, like, we need to get this taken care of.
Okay.
So we need to, I mean,
Maybe I'll find out how good,
find
how
out how
long.
long it's good for.
And then
If
do
it's
we
only
wanna-
good for a short period of time, then we'll go with the advertisement of that we will obtain it,
Okay,
right? Because we don't wanna get it and then it expire before we get a bid in. And then in the meantime, though, like, anticipate us getting both, yes.
okay.
So
But if
if
it's
it's
good
end
for
up
a
for a
year, yeah.
year, then we can change the advertisement to say that we have it already. Well, not that we have it until we get it,
Right,
but you know what I
yeah,
mean.
I know what you mean.
Okay.
Is there a lot of asbestos in 25 Sycamore Street?
I can't answer that, that's what you have to go after, that's why you go after the permit, is to,
Plaster is.
I mean, chances are that there is, and if you get in there and you don't have a permit to remove it, then you have to, everything stops.
right.
I mean, I would think they wouldn't even touch it if they didn't have the permit, which may be why we didn't get any.
Yeah, in the past, the county has never really enforced that, you know, but now they are, so.
Okay, everybody's good with that? Okay,
Mhm.
okay. Moving on then to administration. I will entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 2017-08, which is the Allegheny County Side Yard Program Lot and Block 69M295. The applicant is Phyllis Barber on 17 Belvedere Street.
so moved.
And I second it.
Moved and second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, then all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And that was our first one
That's our, this year,
this
yeah.
year. Excellent. I will entertain a motion to adopt resolution number 2017-09, proposing the elimination of the Community Development Block Grant CDBG program.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Just as a reminder that we have our special meeting on Monday, July 17th, which is next Monday at 6:30 PM here with Crafton and Ingram Council to discuss the comprehensive plan and early intervention program. And then our additional special meeting will be August 21st with the DCED. Did we have a time for that?
6:30.
It's also at 6:30, which we can remind everyone
Yeah,
as we get closer.
sure.
Okay, under discussion items, we have the fire department, HB 172, tax credits, firefighters, proposed ordinance, authorize, advertise. What do we want to talk about? What do we need to talk about?
Well, I think we brought this up before, Mike Crown spoke, this was numerous months ago.
Oh,
This would allow for a real estate tax credit for volunteers that are on the approved roster and have so much time within the fire department. There's some regulations that he would have to submit, the fire chief would have to submit to the borough. They would have to pay their full tax rate up front, and then they would get a refund. And, you, council could limit it to real estate, but that's also being offered to earned income tax. So.
I remember the conversation as earned income tax.
It's real estate, too.
Okay.
So, we were waiting until the House bill was finalized, and then why reinvent the wheel? We were waiting for the fire commissioner to come out with the sample ordinance. So I received the sample ordinance, I gave it to the solicitor to review. I don't know if he has any comments on the actual ordinance or.
Not on the actual verbiage, but it's a question of, giving up revenue, potential revenue for insurance that the borough's gonna have enough firefighters in the future. The firefighters seem to be plentiful at this point, but, as people get older and communities get smaller, it gets harder to get volunteer firefighters, and this is an incentive program.
Do we need a vote tonight?
I mean, the only thing I would need would be authorized to advertise the ordinance. And, we could ask Mike to come in again, but I don't know what he would discuss, but it's really basically, it would provide a discount.
Okay, so I'm gonna
It
entertain,
might it be helpful, to have some numbers to look at as potential revenues that, the borough's foregoing by doing this program?
Yeah, I'd have to get a listing of the active volunteer firefighters that would be eligible. And they have to go on so many calls, they have to be active, because you don't know how many calls you go on. But you have to be active, and it has to be verified by I would have to ask the chief to give me a listing, and I'd have to go and, get an assessment. Now, I can't help you on wage tax, it would just be a guesstimate.
Well, at least something to look at.
Okay, I
Is it
can
a
work on that for the
million-dollar
next
program,
meeting, and
or is
then
it-
we could, authorize to advertise it at the 24th meeting.
But we can still advertise it and vote later, right?
yes.
We could do that.
Okay, so I'm going to entertain a motion to authorize to advertise for the fire department HB 172 tax credits for firefighters proposed ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second, any additional discussion? In the meantime, Ann's gonna pull the numbers together of how many people it affects and what the potential dollar amounts would be. But I think
And
it's
we'll have that
an amazing
information before
incentive.
we make a decision.
Before we
a final
adopt,
decision.
before we would adopt it, we wouldn't be able, it has to be advertised for 30 days, so, it would be at the
August or
meeting.
September or whatever.
August meeting, yeah.
But it's an incentive to keep our firefighters here and to bring additional. It's attractive to new potential firefighters. Okay, so all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Okay, then for announcements, just as you know, the Crafton pool is opened. Sunday, the pool opens what time? 12 or 1? Okay,
One.
it opens at 1.
1 to 8, or 1 to 8, yeah.
1 to 8, and during the week,
12
Monday
to
through
8.
Saturday is 12 to 8. Okay. Our senior dinners will resume in September. Do we have a date?
September, it would be September,
I'm sorry, I can't get them apart. Okay, here we go.
it would be September 16th.
So the next one will be September 16th, 2017. Do we have any additional citizens' comments? I don't think so.
I had a couple of questions for the manager.
Okay.
Do we have a start date for the pool parking? We're still rehabbing the pool parking lot, right?
Yeah.
Do we have a start date for that?
No, we do not. We are finalizing the rain garden first.
Okay.
So hopefully, that'll be done by the end of the month because Alcoastan had some changes. They want, we had to submit everything to them too. And they had some revisions and hopefully we'll authorize to advertise, fingers crossed, the end of July. If not, it'll be the first meeting in August. And then we advertise it, so we'll probably take this in September. And we didn't want to start until after Labor Day anyways.
Right. And then speaking of like Labor Day and school starting up, the road program, have we heard from Grande?
Yeah, we haven't confirmed a complete date yet, but hopefully it'll be like second week in August is what they're thinking.
Okay. Next question. Did we get everything back on the Ewing Road geotechnical?
No, I did not get that. That'll
Okay.
be back whenever. We didn't do it, they weren't ready for this meeting, so they were gonna do it when they could present.
Okay. This is a softball one. Concerts in the park. Do we have a schedule of who's playing?
Yeah, it starts on Thursday, and I don't know off the top of my head, but I'll
One of
email
the
you.
residents asked me if we can.
I can email
Is
it
it on
to
our
you.
website?
It is on the
It is
website.
on the website. All right.
Yeah, I can email you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They.
Do you want me to do that?
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I saw a banner up, so I know it's 7:30 p.m. on Thursdays, and then GIS implementation. Has Gateway done the training yet?
No, they are not, and he was scheduled to come to the August meeting, and he said unfortunately something has come up and won't be able to come until September.
Okay.
So, to do a presentation to council.
Okay.
So, he is planning still on coming, but it's gonna be in September.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, I did see you didn't stop.
They've always stopped in summertime. They don't get the attendance. I guess it's harder to get volunteers. But they've always, since I've been here, I've always stopped July and August just because, volunteers in summer.
I do have one question, if I could. Since you voted to put the stop sign up at Fountain and Chartiers, where Eric lives, where his car is parked, is he going to be able to keep that car there since there's going to be a stop sign? Do you know where I'm talking?
Yeah, Gallus, I thought Gallus lived there, somebody else lives there now.
No, the people that live at 25 Sycamore have been there for years. Eric Hassick.
Oh, no, I don't know.
That's his van, that's where they live now.
Oh, Gallus' old house.
Yeah, yeah, they were relatives.
Geez, that's a good question. Huh?
Yeah, I mean,
It
it's
is
gonna be
private.
right
Well,
at,
he's-
huh?
I guess that's his driveway, he's in the private.
That's what I mean, if it's private right there, do you still have to be, 15 feet from a stop sign or something? I
But
don't
is
know.
that a pull-off right there?
Pardon me? It's not I think it's part of their property, really.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, he parks his truck there, which
It's a
never moves
sidewalk.
anyway. I don't even know if it's inspected, to tell you the truth.
That's something I would have to check with the police department. But
I don't know.
If you install a stop sign, then you have to adhere to the rules, so. But I'd have to check.
I was just wondering what he was gonna do with his truck.
Did you have something that you wanted to
Yes,
discuss?
Llama Plop barbecue
Oh.
tickets, they're going fast. It's just in a few weeks, August the 3rd. So don't forget to get your tickets for the Llama Plop and barbecue. Chicken and ribs being barbecued.
Okay.
Don't forget to eat.
Anyone else have anything? No? Okay, then, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye, hello.
Aye.
We all
Aye.
voted. All
Llama
voted.
Plop tickets.